Hello, welcome back. Today's video came about when I received a text message from someone regarding something they thought I should do for my endometriosis. So I'm going to go over today a few things that I have heard from other people that I would recommend maybe not saying to somebody that has endometriosis, and maybe a few pointers on how to approach somebody with a disease that you are unfamiliar with. If you're not in the situation, you may be a little insensitive as to the language you're using when talking to somebody with endometriosis, or that goes for numerous other things. I'm going to start off with one thing I really hope nobody says to someone with endometriosis is, can't you just have a hysterectomy? So there's a number of reasons why this is a little insensitive, and first of all, the suggestion of a hysterectomy is not a light suggestion. This is a serious surgery that requires lifelong care afterwards, lifelong hormone replacements. And another reason why it's not a good response is a lot of women are having fertility issues, and this is just adding insult to injury, really. And if you can't have children and you do want children, and then somebody suggests having a hysterectomy, it's just not something you want to hear at the time. Also, even if you don't want children, this is something that, I don't know, you associate as like being a woman, is having all of that, and just for somebody to suggest you remove all of that is just, it's hurtful. Another thing that kind of falls along that line is people think that by having a baby that this cures your endometriosis, and in some cases it does kind of, I don't know if it puts it into like a remission kind of state or something along those lines. Maybe you won't have any pain anymore, maybe you won't have any symptoms anymore. For some people it has helped. For others it's made it worse. For others it's made it just the same. So this is not a like surefire way of not having the symptoms of the disease anymore. And going along with the hysterectomy thing and insult to injury, suggesting that to somebody who is maybe possibly having fertility issues is really insensitive. I've got a little list here of things that I wanted to talk about. Oh yes, okay. Another thing that I have come across a lot is, why are you sick all the time? How can you be sick all the time? And with endometriosis, it really lowers your immune system. It's not an autoimmune disease, but it kind of acts that way. It adds inflammation to your body, and when you have inflammation in your body, things just don't work quite the same way. I previously used to be sick all the time, whether it was strep throat all the time or a cold or whatever the case may be. I don't get that anymore, but I still do have like aches and pains that just a normal 30 whatever year old doesn't always experience. Like I will have like knee pain, joint pain, stomach aches and things like that. And so whether it's actual being sick with a cold, or it's just like these additional aches and pains and headaches or whatever else, it is coming from that inflammation most likely. So I have run into a lot of judgment, and I have heard of a lot of judgment of others who have endometriosis who are sick often, and there's a lot of judgment and saying like, oh yeah, okay, they're sick again. It happens, and it's, we don't want to be sick. We don't want any of this. We don't want to be sick at all. We don't want endometriosis pain. We don't need any of it. And to, have judgment put upon that it just makes us feel bad. So we can't help it, okay? We try, but we can't help it if we get sick. So another thing you hear a lot from people who find out that you have endometriosis is, oh yeah, I have bad periods too. So in some cases, maybe this other person does have endometriosis, and maybe it is at the stage of, having horrible periods. But just because you have cramps at that time of the month and like normal kind of PMS type of symptoms does not mean you know what it's like to have endometriosis symptoms. Endometriosis at that time of the month is a whole nother level of cramps and pain, and it's debilitating. It is hard to get to work, it's hard to get to school, it's hard to really just function. The other thing that I have heard is if you've had surgery for endometriosis, then people just think it's fixed. So having surgery does not fix endometriosis. It certainly was not the case for me. I know that lots of people will have relief after their surgery for a period of time. Hopefully you can be on some sort of medication that doesn't allow the endometriosis to grow as quickly, and you can be maybe pain-free or lesser pain for a significant amount of time. For me, I think I'm just an overly sensitive person. I just had a small amount of endometriosis. It was removed, but I still have pain from it. So people question like why that would be. And it's not only just that endometriosis grows back, but also some of the damage that can be done through surgery. I had excision surgery, and I think I possibly had some, scar tissue development in that area, and I continue to have pain in the exact same area where the endometriosis was removed from. So there's a lot of things that can come out of the surgery, and it's like any other surgery. There's complications, right? So it's easy to think that that's going to solve problems for the person with endometriosis, but it doesn't. So it might help, but it doesn't cure the disease, it doesn't get rid of the disease, and in some cases it may just stick around because of other complications like scar tissue development or any damage to nerves or anything like that. So that's kind of the list I had about things not to say to somebody that has endometriosis. As to the things that you can say is really just actually listening to them and more ask questions rather than give advice on solutions, because most likely they've tried a lot of things. I mean, it's no harm in suggesting minor things, but things like suggesting a hysterectomy or anything that serious, please don't do that. It's not helpful for anybody, and it just creates this negative feeling towards anybody that says that to you. I think I'm just gonna end the video here. So if you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe as well. I will see you guys next time. Bye.